folks that actually were here 50 years ago. But please allow me to speak to those like myself who were not even alive when the March on Washington happened. My father, when I was growing up, said it very simply. When I used to walk around the community, walk around our home, he used to look at me and say, "Boy, don't you dare walk around here like you hit a triple, because you were born on third base. You are enjoying freedoms, opportunity, technology, things that were given to you, bought by the struggles and the sacrifices and the work of those who came before. Don't you forget where you come from. You drink deeply from wells of freedom and liberty and opportunity that you did not dig. You eat lavishly from banquet tables prepared for you by your ancestors. We in my generation cannot now afford to sit back consuming all of our blessings, getting dumb, fat, and happy, thinking that we have achieved freedom. The truth of the matter is that the dream still demands, that the moral conscience of our country still calls us, that hope still needs heroes. We need to understand that there is still work to do. When the leading cause of death for black men my age and younger is gun violence, we still have work to do. When we still have a justice system that treats the economically disadvantaged and minorities different than others, we still have work to do. When you can, in America, work a full-time job plus overtime and still be below the stifling line of poverty, we still have work to do. When we see wages stagnating, when child poverty is increasing, when the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, when millions of our children are living in neighborhoods where their soil is toxic and their rivers are polluted and their air quality is so poor that asthma is epidemic, we still have work to do. And so my generation, we can't sit back now thinking democracy is a spectator sport, when all we can do is watch our TV screens and cheer for our side. Democracy demands action. We can't sit back and get caught up in a state of sedentary agitation where we get so upset about the world going on, but we don't get up and do something about it. We cannot allow ourselves to let our inability to do everything undermine our determination to do something. And so now I call upon my generation to understand that we can never pay back the struggles and the sacrifices of the generation before, but it is our moral obligation to pay it forward. And so now we must stand like King stood, like thousands of others stood, like Ella Baker stood, like Goodwin and Cheney and Schwerner stood, like the Freedom Riders stood. We must stand now. We must stand until we live in a nation where it doesn't matter who you love, but we don't have second-class citizenship for gay and lesbian brothers and sisters. We must stand now until we become a nation where a woman working the same job as a man gets the same pay. We must stand. We must stand for a country where 20% of our children are not shackled by the chains of poverty. We must stand today. We must stand in my generation. We must stand for equality. We must stand for justice. We must stand like those stood before us, because we still live in a country where anything is possible. But as King said, change will not roll in on the wheels of inevitability. So we must straighten our backs, stand together, and join together until indeed our nation becomes one, where the call of the conscience of children coast to coast, where they say that profound pledge, when we make those words not aspirational but true in our land, that America is a country truly for all of his children, her children, that we are truly a nation with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Thank you.